After 37 years, the sunglasses are coming off, and Anna Wintour, the woman who made Vogue synonymous with power, prestige, and pure intimidation, has just announced she's stepping down as editor in chief. But is this really retirement or just another strategic move made by fashion ultimate chess master? Today, we're doing a deep dive into why Anna's leaving and what she's doing next, and whether she's really the ice queen we all think she is, or if that's just what she wants us all to believe. Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Delana, and today we're talking about the most seismic shift in fashion media since she first stepped into the Vogue's offices like 37 years ago. On June 26, 2025, Anna Wintour shocked the fashion world and apparently her own staff by announcing she's stepping down as editor in chief of American Vogue. And when I say shocked, I mean, I heard from some of the people that were in that meeting that no one knew about it. They were all completely shocked. Someone actually said they found it was like God was stepping down from God. Now, just to be sure, before we all start mourning the loss of Anna Wintour, she isn't disappearing. She's not retiring to some countryside manor to tend to her roses. This is Anna Wintour we're talking about, the woman who once said retirement would happen, well, very quietly, and then proceeded to make the announcement heard around the fashion world. So, why is the woman who transformed Vogue from a storied fashion magazine into a cultural powerhouse stepping back now? What's she planning? And most importantly, for those of us who grew up watching The Devil Wears Prada, is Anna Wintour really as terrifying as Miranda Priestley made her seem out to be? I personally grew up with my mom collecting all the September Vogue magazines. I remember they were so thick. So she had every September Vogue magazine since I can remember. I think she had well over 25 of them. So I grew up reading Vogue since I was such a young kid. So that kind of what's made me was really interested in what Anna Wintour and what she's doing now and what's her next big thing. So let me set the scene from how it all started. Thursday morning, June 26, 2025, Anna Wintour walks into her staff meeting at Conde West headquarters in New York, probably in one of her most signature coats, wearing her glasses, and drops this huge bombshell on everybody. Anybody in a creative field knows how essential it is to never stop growing in one's work, she told Vogue staff. When I became the editor of Vogue, I was eager to prove to all who might listen that there's a new, exciting way to imagine an American fashion magazine. But here's the kicker, she continued. Now I find that my greatest pleasure is in helping the next generation of impassioned editors storm the field with their own ideas, supporting by a new, exciting view of what a major media company can be. So now, you'd think after 37 years, people might have seen this coming. You'd be wrong. A source was in that meeting, told the Daily Mail it was the fashion equivalent of a nuclear bomb going off. And that's when this person said it was like finding out that God is stepping down from being God themselves, they said. And in typical Anna fashion, the delivery was as ice cold as her reputation. It wasn't an emotional announcement. She wasn't warm and fuzzy, and a couple of them got misty, but it wasn't like there was weeping or gnawing of the teeth. I'm sure some of them were probably happy to see her go because I think the Devil Rose Prada, there's some truth to that, of how she really is. But of course it wasn't. This is Anna Wintour, the woman who made emotionless professionalism into an art form. So at Conde West, she will actually be now one of the heads directors of the whole organization. Um, so she isn't leaving Vogue. She's just reshuffling the deck chairs on her fashion empire. She's stepping down as editor in chief of American Vogue, but she's keeping her roles as global editor director of Vogue and chief contact officer of Conde Nast. So they actually have a whole collection of Vogues from like all over the world. So she's going from managing one magazine to overseeing an entire media empire. We're talking about Vogue's 29 international editors, plus Vanity Fair, GQ, Wired, Architectural Digest, Bon Appetit, and basically every publication that matters in the whole luxury lifestyle space. So she's not stepping down, she's stepping up. Classic Anna move. Honestly, while everyone else sees retirement, she sees expansion. Wow, at 75 years old, she has this opportunity to step down and move on, but it's amazing. 75 years old, and now she's almost stepping into a bigger job. Now, Anna's official reason for this transition sounds very noble and forward thinking, but this is fashion. There's always more to the story than what's on the surface. So she's actually talking about a whole digital revolution. So they actually have here what they it's like Vogue World. So the magazine industry has been struggling, as we all know, to adapt to the digital age. Print circulation is down, advertising revenue has shifted online, and younger audiences are getting their fashion inspiration from TikTok influencers, not glossy magazine spreads. Anna, to her credit, has been ahead of this curve. She's been pushing Globe into digital experiences like the Globe Vogue World, this traveling fashion and culture events, and expanding the Met Gala into a global brand. But managing day to day operations of a print magazine while trying to revolutionize the entire industry, well, that's a lot for someone. Even with Anna, who's this superpower, it's still a lot. So they're actually, and here's one of the fashion shows at the Global Vogue event. So she's really trying to expand globally. And here's what I think is really happening. Condé Nast has been implementing a global restructuring for the past 4 years. Every international market has a head of editorial content and who reports to a global editor director. The US was the last to hold out with this traditional editor in chief structure. By stepping back from the day to day US operations, Anna can focus on bigger picture, coordinating content across 29 international editions, ensuring brand consistency, and probably most importantly, identifying and developing the next generation of editorial content. So again, here is all the different editors or all the different folks across. I guess there's 29 across the world. And let's be honest, Anna is 75 years old. She's been doing this job since 1988, when most of her current staff weren't even born. At some point, succession planning has to happen. But instead of just handing over the keys and walking away, she's creating a system where she can mentor her replacement while still maintaining ultimate control. It's like being the CEO of fashion. You get to shape the vision without having to deal with the day-to-day drama of managing personalities and deadlines. I have no idea how she's been doing that over the last 37 years. It's incredible. So she even got this award from King Charles. So there's also the delicious detail when Anna received the Companion of Honor from King Charles in February 2025. He reportedly asked if this meant she was going to retire. Her response, a firm no. She said the honor made her even more convinced that she was so much more to achieve. So basically, she told the King of England, she's not done yet. And then 4 months later, she restructures her entire career to achieve even more. Gosh, the audacity is honestly it's just inspiring that at that age, she just not only wants to do her job, but do more and more. And I think she's really gonna shape the future, especially with the new editors coming up. And I think that she does have a whole handle on the whole digital era of fashion moving forward. So, what exactly will Anna be doing with all the newfound freedom from daily magazine management? Because her future plans are almost more impressive than her past achievements. Again, she's going more into the global side of everything. As global editor director of Vogue, Anna will be overseeing content strategy across all 29 international editions. That means she'll be the final word on everything from cover stars to editorial direction in markets spanning from Japan to Brazil to the UK. Think about the power that that represents. One woman setting the aesthetic and cultural tone for fashion media across the entire planet. It's like being the creative director of like global style. So it will be very interesting. She's also going to maintain the Met Gala. So she has specifically said she'll continue her role as the mastermind behind the Met Gala, fashion's biggest night and one of the most exclusive events on the planet. But she's also expanding her live events empire with Vogue World, which has become this traveling fashion spectacle. And I had that picture of the, actually, this is the one with this is the Vogue World. So Vogue World isn't just a fashion show. It's a part cultural event, part brand experience, part media moment. They're done in New York, London, and Paris. I believe this one was in London. And each one gets bigger and more ambitious. Anna's essentially creating a new category of luxury entertainment. So Condé West is definitely expanding their whole reach with all these different fashion shows as well, because it's not just a magazine. But perhaps the most significant as chief content officer of Condé Nast, Anna will be overseeing editorial strategy for some of the most influential publications in the world. We're talking brands that reach hundreds of millions of people globally. This just isn't about fashion anymore. Condé Nast publications cover lifestyle, culture, politics, technology, food, travel, basically every aspect of aspirational living. Anna will be the ultimate creator of luxury culture. And in perhaps the most Anna Wintour detailed ever, she specifically told her staff that she plans to remain Vogue's tennis and theater editor in perpetuity. Because of course she does, in every grand restructuring, she's keeping the fun part for herself. Honestly, she says she has goals. She says, I'll run a global media empire, but I'm also keeping control of the Wimbledon coverage and Broadway reviews. This woman really knows what she wants, and it's incredible. She's been doing an incredible job covering Wimbledon. I think that's why Wimbledon has also become like a fashion event. When people show up to Wimbledon, they have their best attire on. I heard that in the royal box that they're not allowed to wear jeans, and Meghan Markle showed up with jeans one time and they wouldn't let her in the royal box, in typical Meghan Markle fashion. For most people, Anna Wintour is inseparable from Miranda Priestly, the ice-cold magazine editor she was Meryl Streep immortalized in The Devil Wears Prada. But how much of that portrayal is actually true? The story starts in the early 2000s with Lauren Weisberger, who worked as one of Anna's assistants from 1999 to 2000. After leaving Vogue, she enrolled in creative writing classes and wrote a novel. And surprise, working for a demand fashioning music magazine editor. When the book was announced, Anna's reaction was perfectly on brand. According to former Vogue managing editor Laurie Jones, Anna said, I can't even remember who that girl is. That was the ultimate boss move, not even acknowledging the existence of someone writing a tell-all book about you. For years, Anna refused to comment on the book or movie, but recently at the West End musical adaptation premiere, she finally addressed it. When asked about similarities to Miranda Priestly, she said, it's for the audience and for the people I work with to decide if there are any similarities between me and Miranda Priestly, which is the most Anna Wintour way possible to say, I'm not telling you, figure it out for yourself. The woman could write a master class in strategic ambiguity. So she, yeah, I heard that she is a lot. There was specific differences, obviously, but yeah, I heard she is a lot like that character. But here's where it gets interesting. According to Amy Odell, who wrote the definitive Anna Wintour biography called Anna, the reality is much more nuanced than the movie suggests. Former assistant Amy Cho said the book felt very true to life, but through a negative lens. Laurie Jones revealed that Anna was sort of bemused by the book and wasn't bothered by it at all. Yeah. So what is the myth versus the reality? So did the movie get it right or did the movie get it wrong? According to Andre Leon Talley, who worked with Anna for 27 years, said one big inaccuracy was the coat throwing. He goes, Anna would never throw her coat down when she came to the office. Anna Wintour has never thrown a bag or a coat. Or he said, I haven't seen it. But the daily dry cleaning, totally accurate. The demanding tasks for assistants, also true. Anna really would ask assistants to pick up Harry Potter books for her children on the weekends. So yeah, I think there was a lot of similarities in that movie. And here's what multiple sources confirm. Anna developed a reputation for being icy and scary and earned nicknames like Nuclear Wind Tower. But people who actually worked with her paint her as a different picture. Emma Soames, Anna's personal friend, said people misinterpret her focus for coldness, but she's not cold. She's generous to a fault. If it did not involve editing Vogue, she didn't address it. So she had no small talk. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. When you're running one of the most influential publications in the world, making hundreds of creative decisions daily, and setting trends that affect a multi-billion-dollar industry, small talk about the weather probably feels like a waste of time. So yeah, I could see why she was just always bang, bang, bang. There's so many decisions for her to make, and she was on top of, I believe, a lot of it. When Meryl Streep herself said she repeatedly that she did not base Miranda on Anna specifically, but on powerful men she'd worked with in Hollywood. The character was inspired by Clint Eastwood's quiet authority and directors who would command a room without raising their voices. But here's the thing. Whether Anna is like Miranda or not, the comparison has actually worked in her favor. It's created this aura of untouchable authority that's probably made her job easier. When people think you might be the devil in Prada, they tend to take your opinions very seriously. So where does the legacy go and what is going to go next for Anna Wintour? I am very excited to see where she goes next and how she handles this new era of fashion in the digital world. I think that she is really has her pulse on predicting what people are going to see and want in the future. I think she really does have her pulse on that beyond fashion. I think she has a pulse on getting people's attention and what people will look to her as to what the fads are going to be in the future. So let's talk about what Anna Wintour actually accomplished in her 37 years at the helm of American Vogue, because the numbers are honestly staggering. When Anna took over in 1988, Vogue was a respectable but somewhat styled fashion magazine. Her first cover featuring Israel model Michaela Burko in a $10,000 Christian Lacroix sweater. And I actually have that here. Where is she? So this is her first ever Vogue cover, which is very interesting. So in this Vogue cover, this model is wearing a $10,000 Christian Lacroix sweater paired with $50 Guess jeans. That broke every rule of fashion that Vogue had ever followed. The cover wasn't just about mixing high and low fashions. It was a declaration that fashion could be both aspirational and accessible, sophisticated and relatable. It set the tone for everything that followed. Under Anna's leadership, Vogue became more of a fashion magazine. It became a cultural authority. She put the first man on the cover, and I also have that one too. She was on the cover. This one, the first time a man ever was on the cover was Richard Gere. He was so hot back then. This cover, I remember this cover. It reminded me of Pretty Woman. It was like Cindy Crawford was like the live Pretty Woman. So yeah, that was the first man. And that was in 1982. So Richard Gere, Cindy Crawford, she made the Met Gala into fashion's equivalent of the Oscars. She turned Fashion Week into appointment television. Or perhaps most importantly, she transformed fashion from an industry that spoke only to the elite into one that influenced mainstream culture. Today, Vogue's fashion choices show up in fast fashion stores within weeks. They trickle down effect. And that's how Anna's creation. So she's essentially at the top, and a lot of her fashion decisions, as she said in the movie, the reason that your sweater is that blue is because I picked out this color from 2 years ago, and it's just trickling like that. That was the blue from 2 years ago. So it's just trickling down to mainstream, and that's why your cheap blue sweater. You're wearing that cheap blue sweater right now. So again, that's a lot of the movie was very accurate. From a business perspective, Anna's impact is even more remarkable. She created the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund, which has supported emerging designers since 2004. Designers like Thom Browne, Alexander Wang, and Christopher Kane all got early career boosts from Anna's support. She also made fashion profitable in ways it had never seen before. The Met Gala alone raises tens of millions for the Metropolitan Museum. Vogue's brand partnership and events generate revenue streams that didn't even exist before her tenure. So who's replacing her? Now that's the big question. Who's going to fill those very expensive shoes? Condé Nast has posted the job on LinkedIn as head of editorial content because apparently even job titles need to be modernized now. So they've modernized the title. I believe that they're just putting it on LinkedIn they probably just have to put it somewhere and post it, but I'm sure they already have who they have in mind. So there's been speculation. Lindsay People-Wagner's former editor of Teen Vogue is being mentioned. Some are wondering if Anna's daughter, B. Schaefer, might step in. She's a Broadway producer, so she definitely understands high-stakes creative industries. Others think it might be Chloe Mal, who currently edits Vogue's website and happens to be Candice Bergman's daughter. Nothing says more than the democratic process, like replacing one fashion dynasty daughter with another dynasty daughter. But honestly, in fashion, pedigree does matter. So is this really the end of Anna Wintour era? Absolutely not. If anything, this feels like the beginning of Anna Wintour 2.0, the global expansion pack. What we're witnessing isn't a retirement, it's an evolution. Anna has spent 37 years proving that she can run one magazine better than anyone else in the industry. Now she's going to prove she can run the entire luxury media landscape. So again, we got back to these the Vogue international covers here. So she is going to hit it globally. And the timing is actually perfect. Fashion is more global than it's ever been. Trends start in Seoul and end up in Stockholm. Designers debut in Lago and picked up in Los Angeles. The industry needs someone who can coordinate and curate on a global scale. And as for whether Anna is as cold as calculating as Miranda Priestley, maybe the question isn't whether she's the devil who wears Prada. Maybe the question is whether the fashion industry needed someone that focused, that decisive, and yes, that intimidated to drag it into the 21st century. The kid, here's the thing about Anna Wintour. Love her or fear her, she gets results. An industry built on creative influence and the ability to make people care about things they didn't know they wanted. That's exactly the kind of devil you want wearing Pradas. And that's the story of Anna Wintour. Surprising, but not really surprising, stepping back from American Vogue. What do you think? Are you excited that Anna stepped back? What do you think that she's going to actually bring to the global field? And can Anna Wintour actually head into the digital age? A 75, what I find is very interesting is Anna is 75 years old and she has to navigate this whole digital era going forward and kind of see in the future. But it's usually, like I said, like it's usually the younger people with the visions within the digital world. So you have someone who's 75 years old, has the wisdom that she has, the work ethic that she has, and knowledge that she has, bringing it into the new century and this whole digital age and across all these different forums. It's going to be very interesting. So guys, that's the video about Anna Wintour. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm very interested. Like I said, I've been, and like I said, I didn't grow up rich by any means, but my mom, like I said, had Vogue every month, but the September issues. So even when like, it's not like she could have afforded all those expensive things in the magazine, but it was very interesting to look at it now that you could take those Vogue magazines. And my mom used to say, well, I don't need that sweater, but I can find one that looks like that, but cheaper, So it really did, like I said, it shaped me. I remember the Vogue since I was young, watched, I would always, when my mom get the Vogue magazine each month, I would sift through it and just learn so much about fashion through Vogue. And that was the only fashion magazine my mom ever bought, was the Vogue. She didn't buy any other ones. It was just Vogue, especially, and then collected the September Vogues. So again, guys, please like, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.